They turn that into a practice that we can do. And it's very effective. The main thing is it works. Actually, the bottom line is that it works. It's like my telephone number. I won't give it to you, but if you had it, you just go beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 and I'm on the other end. Now, why that should happen, that's just the number. You dial any other number, you won't get me. You dial that number, you're through to me. When we set our mind in the way that these visionaries have seen, and we use our imagination and our prayers and many other things in the right way, it attunes us to a compassion that we never experienced before. It opens the door to a compassion that can just grow and grow and grow. When we look into that compassion, we see it's not just a woolly feeling of I love everybody. It's a skill. It's a skill. We find that if you really want to live as a compassionate being, you need many skills. You need to be very generous and open. To give of yourself is one thing. You need patience, because helping people is not easy. You need a great deal of patience to cope with all of the frustration that comes with it. One needs wisdom, because stupid help is no help. The wiser one is, the better one can help. In Buddhism, one needs meditation, because that gives one a depth that really gives one a power to feel deeply what's wrong with the other person. It gives one a lucidity and a stability whereby instead of it just being a human interaction, you can listen in quietness. You can really feel what's needed. Many, many skills like this. And somehow they're all represented in what we visualize. That's the beauty of it. So when we have 4 arms, our arms, our hands, they're so useful. We create, we touch, we feel. They're precious. So when we have the 4 arms, the way we reach out and touch and help beings is through 4 things: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity or impartiality. This impartiality that loves everyone the same. They're like our 4 main tools, if you like. So that's why we visualize ourselves with the four arms. And everything in what we visualize in that way shows us the ethics, the right ethics of our conduct, the patience, the meditation, and so on. All of these skills together, and in particular when we meditate on Chenrezig, which is tonight's one, you have a beautiful, kind, smiling face. Now, just training in that is a marvelous thing in itself. We don't go through life miserable, cynical, critical. We don't look at other people like this. We look on everyone, and we train in feeling this face. When you meditate, you become the Buddha. Your face has all of the relaxation, the kindness, the peace, looking with eyes filled with loving care and wisdom that understand. Just training in that part is a marvelous thing. And as we do the whole visualization, everything has meaning. Everything is part of this very, very perfect jigsaw puzzle of this thing we call compassion, with all of its living skills. Now, you're very fortunate this evening. The person who's giving you this empowerment is himself really the embodiment of compassion. I think if you know anything, even just about Akong Rinpoche's humanitarian work, through him, tens of thousands of children have an education. Thousands and thousands of people have been saved from poverty, from sickness. So he's not a lama just sitting down saying, feel compassionate, it's nice. He's somebody whose life is a living, wonderful example of actually giving yourself and becoming a servant of the world. So I think we're very fortunate. Now, an empowerment is something we need in order to do the practice. But that having been said, the way that Akong Rinpoche gives the empowerments. They are open to everyone, Buddhist or non-Buddhist, as what we call a blessing. It means if you feel that by meeting up with him, with this Tibetan lineage, which he really represents, if you feel there's some sort of spiritual goodness, then that's all there is. You come here tonight, there's a ceremony, a meeting, and let's hope that some goodness comes through it. But apart from that, an empowerment is actually what entitles you to practice. And it needs somebody who holds, when there was this first original vision of Chenrezig as the embodiment of compassion, that was passed on from the person who had it to their main disciples, and they passed it on to their main disciples. We have a pure lineage through time where the whole meaning and inner depth of this practice has been maintained through the centuries until Akong Rinpoche and the other masters today who hold it. Now, amongst other things, they hold a key. We all have compassion and the potential for compassion within ourselves. But somehow when you receive empowerment, it opens up the key. So when you do the practice, it actually bears fruit. And if you did the same technique and practice without the empowerment, somehow it doesn't work so well. This is why we need to receive an empowerment from a pure lineage and a good lineage master. Tonight, the empowerment ceremony is based on this 1,000-armed, 11-headed form of Chenrezig, which is special to a practice we call Nyungne, which is a 2-day practice with fasting, particularly useful for lay people with busy lives who can't just go off and devote their life to spirituality, but can go for 2 days and have a total spiritual immersion in this practice, which is based on generosity, compassion. Very excellent practice that we do in some of our centers. Now, the empowerment is for that, but at the same time, it's also the empowerment you need if you're going to do the very widespread practice called Rodon Kachapma of 4-arm Chenrezig, which we do in nearly all of our Tibetan Buddhist centers in the UK and in other countries. So it's very much what people like. Buy one, get one free. It's 2 for the price of 1. It's 2 things together. That's very, very, very wonderful. So it's an empowerment in that sense. And the way the empowerment works is through your openness and receptivity on your side, and through the fact that the Lama who gives it really is what we call a lineage holder. In themselves they have the realization, and they have received this transmission from their teacher, he got it from his teacher. There's a pure unbroken line from the Buddha. So from this side of the stage things are fine, and quite what it gives to you, beside the fact that it empowers you to do the practice and turns the key in the lock, whether it actually brings you